mindfulness of sitting, and then mindfulness of moving, and then mindfulness of drinking tea, and mindfulness of everything flows into life, and it's mindfulness of life. But I notice sometimes that while I'm actually in a state of meditation, I don't feel cold. Even some nights I sit down at the beach and the weather can get really quite cold. But I know it's cold. I can feel it's cold, but it's like my body's cold, but my mind's not cold. And then after I finish the meditation, all of a sudden I feel cold and I have to put my jacket on. And it's like, what's the difference between sitting there with mindfulness and knowing it's cold, but not really feeling cold? And then when you finish the meditation and you suddenly feel, oh, I have to put a jacket on. The difference is thinking. When you start thinking about the cold, you actually feel more cold and you feel you have to go into action and do something about it. Basically, the ego kicks in. But in the meditation, you're simply observing sensation. And that's all it is. It's sensation. Cold is just simply sensation. And you don't have to act upon it. You can just see it, know it, feel it as it is. Anyway, just that's my little observation at the close of this sitting. Does anybody have any question or anything that you'd like to share? We're a really small group at the moment, so I'm really happy for you to just unmute yourself and say anything that you feel. Share any experience or any of the terminology that I've used tonight, especially with regard to explore, experience, and experiment and expand. Yeah. So if you'd like to say something, feel free. Anybody?
Jeff,
Yes.
continuing from my first question, you said that experiencing this, the experience of dissolving into light is not lofty, and and to experience hearing the sound of silence is not lofty. But you spent years as a monk. I mean, are you saying that we don't have to go through that kind of commitment to have those experiences?
Yeah, that was actually my point. Those can be, and as I said, as you go further along the path, they do become very lofty and exalted experiences, especially when your ego dissolves and you become the light, you become that sound of silence. So they are lofty, but the way I started to explain it was that anyone can really experience it. So it's not beyond the reach of just your ordinary folk. So, and these are both beautiful entries into experiencing what I would call true meditation is light, and that is internal light. Although you can start, as I did in one session tonight, was to start by looking around and even looking at light, focusing on light, that is physically with your eyes open. And this can also lead you into an internal light. But when you come to internal light, you realize this is no longer a creation of the external world. This is a manifestation of mind. And as you go deeper into that and you lose your sense of self, you can actually have what we would call true meditation. And the same with sound. Many sounds are man-made, or we think, oh, I am hearing this sound. But when we hear, for example, the sound of silence, which is not made by me or anybody else, and when I, the so-called meditator, the self, dissolves and there is only the sound of silence, then again we fall into that state of true meditation, which is the dissolution of the meditator. So they are lofty, but can be experienced by anybody.
Do we need that kind of a commitment of 18 hours a day?
No, I don't believe so. It helps, and it certainly helped me along my path. And it's up to the one. Again, it comes back to the question: why am I meditating? Why am I on the path? What am I looking for? When we can define those for ourselves, not to satisfy a teacher or anything else, but to know within your heart, what am I looking for? What do I want? When you come across legitimate and good, I can say, reasons for practicing, then you can definitely have these experiences without being a monk, without the long and arduous hours and weeks and months and years of practice. But it does have to come from your heart, which I can say is the most important ingredient.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome. Thank you again. Anybody else have something to share? Oh, sorry, Oljay, you did type a little message in there. And thank you for enabling us to unlimited learning. I felt discovering my deeper senses, feelings, especially appreciate the gift of ongoing meditation during our day and life, sadhu. I've discovered the importance of hearing is my top priority in my senses. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think it'll be different for each of us. Some might even say taste could be the most predominant, or smell, or the sense, the physical sense of being a human being in a human body can be also really important and a priority for some people. Thanks for sharing. And Suihan said, expound. Yeah, expounding and exporting. Yeah. Expleting.
And Jeff, you have also mentioned about, for some people, they are not brave, or they are just very comfortable staying in their comfort zones. And I suppose these people often are not even aware of how good it would be to change or discover, and whether they get fear or joy, but they're not aware of it, that they're just, I think, living with the fear in a way.
Yeah, and it's
Not being confident. Not being confident.
Yeah, and we could say, oh, it's sad, oh, it's I wish they could, and it quite often refers to even our family members, people who are close to us. We start to think, oh, if only she would meditate, or if only he could understand things the way I understand, etc. Most people have no wish or inclining, and we can say they don't have the karma that is directing them to explore and experiment and experience the truth. They don't have the karma for it. There's no instigator. There's nothing that's pushing them or prompting them. This is why quite often in life um, it's some deep suffering often is what will bring people to the truth. And many people, when they've had like a near-death experience, after they have that near-death experience, which could be a car accident or a shark attack, or something horrible, or completely mystifying happens to them, the first thing they do is they go straight to their religious teacher. They might go straight to the nearest church. They might go to their the synagogue or their imam or a Buddhist monk and basically say, what happened? Can you tell me about this? And that can be the beginning of their spiritual journey. But a lot of people just, I would say most people, just fluff along in life, just flow along, and they get their mobile phone and their internet connection, and they just, a bit like sheep, really. We just become one of the flock, and never really ask, why am I here? What's the purpose of this? And they don't even acknowledge that they're suffering, and therefore don't ever think, how can I be free from this? So unfortunately, it works like that. And you can't, you can't go and wave a Bible in the front in somebody's face and go, you have to read this. Even, Forgiveness for Everyone by Jeff Oliver. It's like, you should read this book, or you should do this meditation, or the more you do that, the more it just scares people off sometimes. So
I think that
it's hard.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. What?
I think the art is here really accepting the things they are, the people they are, and without expecting more anything from them, and giving them love and care as is our nature. But
Yeah, and
not
that's
interfere like.
Yeah, that then is our practice. That's what
Yes.
we do. But then the more we practice, the more we stick to our truth, then the more people respect us for that. And then in their own time, they will say, hey, what about that meditation? Or, hey, what about those Buddhist, that Buddhist book you were reading, or something like that. So, yeah, I think
in an unforceful way, not forcing, but just being an example, like, in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's always the best way, I believe. And that's why there's 10 people here, is because I'm not out there trying to sell people, like, sell this to anybody. I don't have a manager. There's no promoter. It's not, it's just us. We're just doing this. And, if nobody comes, it's also okay. If people come, it's okay. If there were 1,000 people here, I mean, so what? We'll just be doing the same thing. It really doesn't matter. It's, yeah, everything's all right. All right, friends. Well, if you have any other comments, I'm happy to stay. Otherwise, I'm also happy to go. Anything anybody would like to share? Question?
Hi, Jeff. Sorry, Pema, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'll go after you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Pema. It's just briefly. I'm sorry. It's not because I forget the time change that I'm late. It's just because I have language lessons up until the old time, so that's why I can't join earlier. But I appreciate coming on, and I hope you're okay with me coming late. And I was just thinking, when you were mentioning, who comes to the session, how deeply calming calming this is, even on a Saturday when things are happening, you know? So it's a nice routine, and I thank you for it. And we thank you for it.
You're very welcome. And yeah, of course, anyone can come anytime and leave anytime. That really is open, and it is freestyle. I was even thinking that perhaps some people would prefer that I go back to the old time for you. So I start an hour later, but yeah. Irina also said earlier, oh, it's okay. And anyway, your time zone, your time is going to change soon anyway. I think you're going to catch up to me or something, or it gets further apart. I'm not sure.
Actually, anyway. Tomorrow. I thought it was today, but it was tomorrow.
Okay.
It's changing in London, and I think in
so is that back to the same time again then, is it?
Next week it will be the 10 o'clock our time and 8 o'clock your time. Would it be?
My time won't change.
No, because our time will change. Started. Yeah, we were starting at 9. It will be 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it'll be back to normal anyway.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, so it does. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Olcay, and Jeff for the reminder. It's true, in fact, that tomorrow we're sleeping 1 hour later.
I thought it was today, but anyway, Jeff.
Oh, wonderful. Sadhu, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Would you please write down the Mahasi Vipassana? You had your teachers' names, I think. Was it?
Yeah, it's just Mahasi Sayadaw Vipassana is
thank you.
He kind of created a style, and then my teacher was Sayadaw Janaka.
Yes, I know it.
Yeah, or also known as Chan Ye Sayadaw.
Sadhu, thank you.
You're welcome. So anything else, friends? What can I do for you?
Yes, Jeff. Regarding regarding metta meditation, I find it easy to send metta to the people I love, but to the people who are neutral or not, I don't like so much. I can feel the resistance, and at the end of the meditation, I don't feel good about it because I guess it exposes the fact that I can't love everyone.
Yep. So don't go there. Just stay within the field that you feel comfortable and that the loving kindness is still flowing. And every now and again, when you kind of get to that boundary of extending from people that you know, people you love, people you care about, etc., and you start to extend into that sending to people that you're neutral about, what happens is there's a shift in your realization. You start to realize, well, I don't know that person, but I know that they want to feel what my friends, my family, and all the people I know, they want to feel the same as me. So it's a realization. It's a part of the awakening that, well, even though they're neutral people and I don't know them, they want to feel what I feel, because what I feel is very beautiful. What I feel is very universal. So it's more of a feeling that comes up. So sometimes when we're doing the metta, it can be a little bit mechanical and a little bit, I can say, wordy, or just mainly focusing on the words rather than the actual feeling. So that's why sometimes when I say visualize, see if you can visualize the person that you're sending the loving kindness to and see them happy, smiling, enjoying life, etc., etc. In this way, we're not using so much words, we're actually using we can use our visuals. The main part is when you feel that they feel what you feel. So you feel that your feeling is going from your heart to their heart, and that they are really experiencing what you're experiencing. And that's where we start to shift out of the words of metta and the concepts of metta, and we start to move into more of the flow of the feeling of the metta. And then quite often you realize, oh, I can send this to, you know, the taxi driver. I can send it to the guy who works at the shop down there. I can send it to, you know, someone at school that I don't even know, or work or something. And, or, you know, my neighbors across the hall or across the road. I've never met them, but they want to feel what I feel, because I feel safe, peaceful, and healthy. I feel beautiful. I know they want to feel that too, regardless of whether I know them or not, whether they're good people or not. They want to feel safe, peaceful, and healthy. They want to feel what I feel, because what I feel is real. And then you can then it starts to naturally apply to your enemies and people that you're having difficulties with, even though they might be acting like complete, utter, you know, I just want to say assholes, you know, or complete bitches or whatever. They might be acting that way, but it's because there's suffering in them. They have their own suffering, and actually they want to be safe, peaceful, and healthy, like the neutral people, like my friends and families, and like me. So you start to realize that everybody wants the same thing. And then that's when the boundaries break down. That's where it becomes this universal, unconditional loving kindness.
Thank you once again.
You're very welcome. And it just takes time. It is a practice, and it's something that we do need to spend a little bit more time on every day, and experiment with that, you know, like just, you know, when you might be sitting in a taxi going somewhere, and you just look at the car next to you, and you just say to that person, may she be safe, peaceful, and healthy, you know. Or walking into a shop, and you just think, may the person that's about to serve me now be safe, peaceful, and healthy. Or, you know, just random acts of metta here and there. And what you'll find is that it's like, oh, I would really like it if somebody, even outwardly or secretly, would wish that for me. Then they must like it if I do it for them. So, you know, you start to get that sense of being spontaneous and random with your loving kindness. Thank you. Did he go already? Yes, he's gone. Patrick, send a message. Yeah, and that way you also start to break out of the more conditioned way of doing loving kindness, and you start to get a little more spontaneous.
Zap them with your metta.
That's it. Yeah, flash them. Blind them with your dazzling metta. Yeah, anything can happen then, brother. I used to refer to it as the I used to call it the passport for life, like metta, but it's more like a visa, like a universal visa in your passport that gives you access to all countries, lets you go anywhere. Because you've got that love in your heart, people just accept you everywhere you go. And it can really change situations. It can change people. It can change so much. But we have to have it in our heart first. We have to really know that feeling. So you have to do also a lot more work of metta on yourself, so that you can really feel it. And if you don't feel the metta, then you need to do the forgiveness. And so it might be a good time to revisit my book also on forgiveness for everyone. And to the forgiveness unblocks the blockages, and then the metta starts to replace those blockages, and then the metta becomes more powerful. All right, dear friends, that's it. It's 2 hours and 55 minutes. How this happens, I don't know. It's a phenomenon, but we'll just let it flow, let it go.
Okay.
I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate all of you for joining in. And as usual, loving kindness and appreciation to Sui An, who facilitates our meeting, and also to Mi Yan Lo, who is the owner of the Zoom, so gives us this opportunity to experience. So Sui An has posted the new link for our sessions. Oh, that's next week's.
Oh, Jeff, that's the recording 2 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry, that's the recording. Sorry.
Thank you, Xuan, for 2 weeks ago. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
Okay. All right. And yeah, let's check if that link does work. As I said, I came on tonight by that link that you sent and that I posted on my own post.
Right.
So it worked for me tonight. Yeah. All right, friends. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you next week, I hope. Feel free to contact me in the meantime. Usually by messenger is the best. See you, Özlem. Nice to see you. Bye, Hanka. Thanks, Sweet An. See you, Irina. Bye, Faik. Oljai. See you soon. See you, Pema. Have a good week, brother. All right. See you, Irina.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Hey,
friends.
have a good evening.
Thank you
Bye.
very much. I'll have a little supper.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Good night. Bye-bye. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Bye. You too. Bye.